Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 6 on BallySpring as the author intended challenge. Well, welcome to the first day of December here on the farm. It did not start to get light until 9:30 here, but I will show you something interesting just around the corner here. Christmas time is a-coming here on BallySpring. I had to run a tractor out to get fuel, and there's a few of these around the map. I must say, when I first saw these on top, I thought, oh, bonanza. Could finish a bunch, but you can't pick them up. They're not collectible. But got me a little excited there for a minute. Might as well feed the dog while we're here. So, last time, future Farmer Murphy got his nose all out of joint because I didn't leave him a spot to do his little monthly report card. So we will leave that spot for him here now, and I will see you back in just a minute. Well, there we go. There's our report card for the month of November. You can see our contracts are up to 53, which means we did slightly less number of contracts in November than October. That's reflected in our contract income, which was down from 137,000 in October down to 130,000 in November. But our bales sold was up significantly from 196,000 to 265,000, and that's because our November contracts were primarily silage contracts, and once we had all the bales that we needed for the winter, we were selling off excess silage at peak value, so that really made a difference there. No collectibles were added. We were up to now 845 bales produced, and our balance at the end of the month was 656,608. So there's our report card for November. So back over to past Farmer Murphy. Well, now that he's done his jibber jabbering, we can talk about what is really important. So I did some calculations, and based on the number of cows we have here, and feeding them for 4 or 5 months, I should say, and technically we should only need to feed them 4 because we can start cutting grass again in March, so that would be December, January, February, March, but I added an extra month just to be on the safe side. We needed 100 of these small silage bales. So what I did is we have, I believe it's 130 now. I had a count, and then I wasn't smart enough to write it down. I was going for 125, and I think I added a few more to it. So I think we have between 125 and 130. Yeah, I think that's right. These are the extra here. So 129. And they're about half and half, big and small. So we have the extra, like say 30 bales. And then this row here is the larger ones, but the rows behind, there's 2 rows behind that are all the smaller ones. And that actually worked out pretty good because, boy, those small ones are a real pain in the butt to stack. It just turned out that the large silage contracts, a lot of them used the Gavile baler wrapper, and it only did the small bales. So I did the big ones first. And I have 2 rows of those little suckers stacked up in there, and one whole row fell over. About a third, or so I should say, only about a third of the bale stayed in the stack. About 2/3 fell down. I was a little cranky. So the big bales are actually holding the little bales that are stacked in behind. It looks nice or reasonably nice and tidy now. Believe me, when you see it in the spring when I start feeding them, it's not going to look like that. So we have lots of silage bales, I'm thinking. Now, I did a couple of the haying contracts that came up. There weren't very many. Like I said, I went after them like crazy, and I really needn't have done, because when I left at the end of last month, there were still 29 baling contracts all of them silage. So we're never going to run out of silage contracts. And you'll see from the financials, we did very well on those silage contracts. Um, even it's still, even though we kept a lot of the bales, because it was peak price for silage when we sold them, the bales we did sell, we made an awful lot of money on. So we can just do whatever we think is going to make us the most money. We don't need to worry about having enough silage contracts around. Um, okay, so I think that catches us up here. I'm going to jump in the tractor here. Let me take off this bucket here, and we'll head up to the other farm. Oh, one thing I was going to mention, I was doing all that stacking. I did it all with this tractor, obviously, and you know, the other months I had always kind of run down to the shop every once in a while and do repairs because we can't repair or wash or refuel our vehicles here. We always have to go down to the shop. Hadn't done that. $8,000 repair bill because it was for the majority of the month. Ouch. That smarted. So I'll be taking a few more frequent trips to the shop because it is kind of an exponential curve for repairs. So the more often you do them, the less they ultimately cost you. Anyways, I'm going to head up to the other farm. I'm going to take the shortcut through the calf pasture. So I will meet you up there. So we're up here at the sheep farm, and I just wanted to show you this. This is what happens when a stack of bales falls over on Farmer Murphy and he has to restack them. I decided I needed a change of pace, so I moved the bales off of this hill up here, and I just pushed everything in here. I didn't care. I suppose I should have taken a little more pride. I was pretty disgusted with stacking at the time. Probably going to pay the price trying to get these suckers out of here. But anyway, what the point is, what I really wanted to show you is we had 14 grass bales, is you may recall, small ones. We have 13 left. I fed one of those for the entire month. And I think we have about the same number, 12 or 13 of those large hay bales that we had from other haying contracts that did manage to come up. So I think we're in pretty good shape there. Seeing as the animals we had in the month only ate one small grass bale, I think we're going to add a number to them here. I know I didn't do any kind of calculations, just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I figure if what we have used one bale, we need to feed them for 4 months because we do have a grass field that we should be able to mow right away in March unless the wintertime cuts the growth back. I guess that's always a possibility, but uh, we'll we'll hope not. Let's do that. So that means we only need 4 little grass bales. Well, we've got 13 and we got all the hay bales. So I think we're safe. What we're going to do here is we are going to buy a, yeah, those are the ones we want. Select those. We're going to add 10 adult sheep and 10 adult female goats. Like I said, I've done no calculations. I will, at the start of kind of year, when our first calendar or financial year, let's call it, first fiscal year is done, I'll do all the math we need to make sure the pen is full to 1,000 on year 5. And then I'll also maybe do some testing on an iTest map to see what we need for hay. But I'm pretty sure that we'll have more than enough to carry us through with that. And we'll have a good start on our sheep herd. We're basically going the wrong way, ahead of where I want it to be. So there's not much else going on here in December now, just feeding the animals. Now, there is one little piece of excitement I'll share with you here. We go down and look at contracts. Went ripping by them, didn't I? Like I said, I counted. There were 29 silage contracts that I just flat ran out of time to do. But this sugar beet contract was still there, and it's big equipment, and you can harvest sugar beets on this map in December. And I thought, well, what the heck? For our December episode, we'll see if we can get to that field with that large sugar beet harvester. So that's what we're going to do. And I thought you might as well come along and enjoy the ride, so to speak. So I'll meet you down at the store, and we'll see how we make out. Well, this is the machine we need to get down the road. I was actually recording and chatting with you guys while I was getting this thing hooked up here. It took a little maneuvering to get the head on, and realized I hadn't turned my mic on. So that all hit the bit bucket, unfortunately. But what I was saying is I can't remember if it was this challenge or not, because I read a couple of them, but I think it was this one, is there was pretty big penalties if you took a contract and didn't complete it. And I kind of forgot about that. So I was saying we're going to try a little harder to make sure we get this thing down the road. You know, I didn't even look where the heck the field was. Maybe that would be a good start. Field 2, where is it? I'll actually be up over here someplace, right there. Well, that might not be so bad. But we're going to try pretty darn hard. I'm not going to go and look that up to see if there is a penalty. I will if we have to admit defeat. I certainly will follow the rules. But I think what I'll do is I'll turn traffic off to aid us in getting this thing up the road. So I'll do that, and we'll get out on the road and get rolling. Catch up with you in just a second. All right, let the games begin. I'm going to do this out of cab, so at least I can see what I'm hitting, hopefully. Might not be too bad, but I think the roads up there are fairly wide. Like I said, I helped us by turning traffic off for this. I don't think there's anything in the rules that says we can't do that. But it'll be getting through the gates and into the field is where the real challenge will be. Going to be pretty short days, but this is the only job we have for the month other than feeding our livestock. So it doesn't matter if it takes us a couple days of daylight hours to get her done. Although we do have a pretty good sized harvester to work with. Now I know we don't have a proper place to store the sugar beets, but I know southern Alberta, when they harvest them, you see them just in piles sitting in like, oops, well there's the first crash. Sitting in like those fabric buildings. You'll see them like open-ended arch shelters, and be sitting there with sugar beets. And so I think we'll just find a building and dump them in there. I mentioned before I'm watching GAMINGJOY Josh's live streams. Well, I'm not watching them live, but I'm keeping up with them. And on his last one, he mentioned that I believe we've got to do every recipe. Excuse me. Oh shoot, are we going to the wrong spot here? Yeah, we needed to turn back there. Like if, for example, his flour mill holds 60,000 liters of flour, he's got to do every recipe that's available to make 60,000 liters of flour each recipe, not just 60,000 total. So I don't know if he's going to make that a personal challenge or if it's going to be part of the global challenge. But long story short, there is we know we need to buy the BGA, and we'll need sugar beets for that. That was a very long-winded way of saying we can use the sugar beets. We want to do some pigs anyways, so we'll have to be doing sugar beets for them as well. So there'll be sugar beets in our future. Alrighty, I'm actually gonna park up here for a minute. We'll shut her down. I'm gonna do a little reconnoitering and seeing how we can get into that field. So I'll catch up with you in just a minute. Well, guys, I'm thinking you might actually enjoy this. We'll see. Yes, there's only one way into the field, so. And it wasn't the way I was hoping. I thought, oh, we're going to be golden here. This is going to be easy. Maybe not. We'll see. I put the help menu on so I could adjust the steering modes. This is the gate we have to get in here. What I think I'm going to do is slide up in here and turn around, come the other way. And I don't know if you see what I see, but look what's hiding right there. That's probably $100,000 if I pick that up. I'm just gonna leave it for now. We know it's here. A little insurance marker, let's say. See, the trouble, you've got to leave room for the back end to swing too. Oh yeah. No, I'm back against. I wonder if I can back in. That'll be easier. Oh, look at that. I think it's missing some paint, but we made her. That was going to be the challenge. This other one's not going to be a problem at all. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to unfold that. I meant to unfold this. Okay, we can't really... You know what? We're just going to cut our way across to the edge and who cares? We're in the field. Now I think we're safe to go in cab. Oh, I guess we could probably turn our beacons off as well. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad we made it in here, and I don't have to go and look and see what kind of penalty there might have been uh, put upon us if we hadn't been able to make it. And we can use the sugar beets, and it's something to do in December. Once I get this contract done, I'll maybe keep an eye open to see if other sugar beet ones pop up. I never even actually bothered to take notice if there were more on the map, but we're just going to blast through basically till spring, until we can start cutting hay again. The good news about that is it takes us that much closer to be able to buy equipment, things like a bale spike and a weight. Very high on my list of priorities. Oh, and I will share this with you. We will be switching brands come next August. It's not that I have anything against Massey at all. It's just Comston I use Massey. I've got a Massey farm on my Bloomfield Let's Play going on, and I want to do something that I haven't used in a Let's Play before. So, but we will be sticking with the a brand that our local shop can help us with. So I will share that much with you, but to see what we actually go with, we're just going to have to wait till August. And that's actually going to cost us a fair bit of money, because we're not going to get very much for those tractors with all those hours on them. Yeah, I kind of thought that might happen. I also have, based on all the grass contracts, I know what we're going to do for our grass equipment too. I've made a decision there. I'll try and remember to put a link to Josh's live streams that he's recorded. They're worth checking out. He's got himself a doozy of a challenge there too. He's doing it on that Scottish map by Cavalier Roy Glenethan, I believe it is, and he's doing a pile of grass work, and he's got to have even more animals than I have. But he was a little smarter than me. Of course, he wrote the challenge. If I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't use this map, just solely for the starting equipment. That's the only thing. It really has put us off to a slow start. Considering that we can't do any arable, I guess. It's not fair. We're doing really well with all the silage contracts and that, but we won't be able to put any arable crops in till next August. But it is what it is. If it were easy, it wouldn't be a challenge, would it? I haven't used this particular harvester very much, because the other ones that we have is a little bit bigger. if I recall correctly. Or has the same width but a bigger capacity. Anyways, I usually pass this one up when I'm looking for my own purposes. Nice, looks like we're going to be full pretty close to the gate. That's kind of handy. I guess I should look. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the pipe is what would be the... Well, you may have noticed that something happened. We had ourselves what I call a Murphy moment. You probably won't hear it, but I was actually talking and the phone rang. I had forgot to put it on silent. Said it was sitting on the desk beside, oh, it's about 4 feet away, I guess. So I reached over to try and grab it and silence it quick, and tried to mute at the same time. Knocked stuff flying everywhere. There's quite a commotion here. There might have been the odd bad word said. So if it kind of looks like we teleported to here, that's why I am going to have to cut some commotion out. Anyway, but I went and got the Kubota in the trailer. Let's get this fired up here and we'll get this unloaded. And what I was trying to say is I'll carry on with this contract. It's going to be more just round and around and unloading. Um, I won't bore you with that. I will bring you back in and let you know where we stuck the sugar beets and how many we had, and then we'll probably call it an episode there. Probably be a little bit shorter for sure, and then from that point on, we'll probably just fast forward to spring and when all the contracts start up, and we'll rinse and repeat and work our way till August to when the real excitement will start. So I will catch up with you when this is done, whenever that is. Talk to you then. Oh, we're up here at the sheep farm. It's the next day. I was just standing here admiring the sunrise. It's just a little after 10, and it's just about now as light as what it's going to get today. It might get a little bit lighter, but yeah, the days are pretty short around here in the winter time. As you can see, it's snowing. It started to snow late yesterday. Come dusk, I was about a little more than half done that sugar beet contract, I would say, and I decided to carry on and finish it up, even though it meant working in the dark, because there was forecast for snow today, tomorrow, and into the next day, and I didn't want to get caught with snow on the ground. Nothing is stuck yet, as you can see, but I imagine at some point it will. So that sugar beet contract is done. And I've decided come August, I think we're going to make this our home base. The reason I'm going to wait till August is because there's no workshop trigger here or no facility to wash our vehicles. All of that we have to do at the main vehicle shop. There's a gas station there, and there's also a pressure washer. So our other farm is much closer to that area than this one is. This is exactly as far opposite as we can get on the map from there. So we'll wait till August because I just don't want to have to truck all the way across the map to, repair and refuel our vehicles. Although I did figure out the story behind this diesel tank. We wouldn't need to go there just to refuel because it's a refuel point. As you can see in the help menu there, it says refuel, and we can buy fuel here. So we don't need to fill it up or anything. It's just a refuel point. So that mystery is solved. There is quite, I don't know if I showed this before, so we'll take a look just in case I didn't, but there's quite a steep lane approaching this farm. As you can see, that hedge there at the bottom marks the roadway. And that was a 200 horsepower Kubota tractor we had for that contract. We had 15,000 liters of sugar beets in our trailer left over. And coming up that hill, we were down to 1 mile an hour. I'll bet you if we had 20,000 liters, we would not have made it up that hill. So it takes some horsepower, that hill does. Here's where our sugar beets are. I stuck them in here just because I needed a tall building to dump into. The trailer had a high tip, and it did give me a little bit of problems on the sell points, so I knew there was a couple tall buildings up here. That's why I brought them up here. Another question was answered. I had mentioned about the grass, and I wonder if it would get set back in the wintertime, and indeed it does. Here's one of our grass fields here. I had left this field. It was ready to be harvested. It was kind of my insurance marker for feed for the sheep. But you can see, come December that we're in now, it's set back. Now it says we can start cutting grass in March, so I don't know if it'll recover by that time or not. But it certainly does put the grass back in the wintertime. So that question was answered. So I think we are going to call it an episode there. I know it'll be shorter, but there are going to be no more contracts until spring. I've looked, there's no more sugar beet on the map or anything. So all we're going to be doing is looking after our animals. I'll be selling a little bit of slurry to make sure our tank doesn't overflow. And that's about it. And so there won't be much activity here till spring. So I will wrap this episode up here, and we'll start a brand new episode come spring. We'll take a look at where our animals are at then, and you guessed it, we'll be back on the contracts again. But spring means we're good that much closer to August, and then things will really start happening. So until then, we'll leave you there. So if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you found this entertaining or informative in any way, could you hit that like and subscribe button? If you want to know when the new content lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode, this is Farmer Murphy signing off.